Did you stay up last night to watch Atlanta, Charlotte, to find out
No,
playing?
no.
When do you really start hard work on Milwaukee?
Well, we started on quite a few, a couple of teams that possibility, and so we're prepared. If it's 2 teams, if it's 3 teams, we're in trouble. But we've got a couple of teams, Milwaukee, Indiana, down as far as being prepared.
But it being Milwaukee nailed in now, gives you a chance to really focus in on the
Right, yeah, no question. We're down the road as far as what we need to do and how we want to do things and what we want to go into tomorrow's practice. And we did some of it this morning in shoot-around about what we want to do.
When you talk about Giannis, I'm not going to even try to say his last name, but when you think about him, everybody calls him the freak, right? What does that mean to you, the freak? What is that?
Well, he's a great athlete. He's a freak of nature for an athlete. He reminds me so much of a young Magic Johnson as far as his length, his size, the way he can pass the ball. And Lord forbid he is consistent on his jump shots, but his length and his ability to see the floor, his willingness to pass, he enjoys passing, and then one step from the top of the key to the rim, he's at the rim laying it up or dunking it. So that's the reason why he's a freak, because he's totally different than anything else in our league. So and he plays with so much force. He's one young kid that has been taught the right way as far as how hard you have to play every possession, and he's got that down.
Has his basketball IQ caught up to his physical abilities yet?
It has. It's not where it's going to be, but it's way ahead of most young guys at his age. He sees the floor. They run a system that he's very familiar with and understands. He knows where everybody's going to be on every possession. So yeah, his IQ is pretty high, especially for a 4-year kid, 5-year kid.
They don't play a lot of pace, and they pack the paint, and they sort of are interesting matchup for you guys.
Well, it is a very interesting matchup. They will run on turnovers. They want to turn you over. They pack the paint defensively. It looks like a zone. The synergy people calls it a zone, but it's a man-to-man. And so it looks, they're so long and athletic, and they're a very, very tough defensive team.
Yeah.
Because they do pack it in, make you beat them from outside.
Well, the last time we were there, DeMar said that Jason Kidd and Eric Hughes seem to know what ways to defend him. It's fun to find out ways to attack that.
Again, the ways they defend him is being physical. They get into him, they grab, they hold, they bump. It's nothing that DeMar hasn't seen, so we don't get overly excited about that, but the main thing they do, they play very physical. They grab, hold him, don't let him go where he wants to go. Nothing different than you're going to see in any playoff game. And what we have to do is meet that force with our force. And we did not do that when we played our last game there. We tiptoed around, feeling sorry for ourselves after a back-to-back, and they kicked our butt. They spanked us, they took us to woodshed, and if we don't go in with in this series with the sense of urgency, knowing how hard this team plays, and think that it's a wrap just because we show up, it's not going to happen.
Last year, you played so many playoff games, and having to play 7 games, you felt like it might have caught up to you as the playoffs went along. How important is it to be efficient in your first playoff series?
Well, again, you'd love to have a great start, but believe me, you go into it ready for 7 games. And again, the East is so balanced. We're fortunate, Boston's fortunate, Cleveland's fortunate to be at the top, but believe me, the teams down at the bottom are no cakewalk, and any team will tell you that as far as the talent level, the balance. And Milwaukee's very unique in how they play. And again, we saw how good Indiana can be on a given night. So any team down at the bottom, and you're not even talking about Chicago and a healthy Dwayne Wade and Rondo, who's won a championship. So again, I'm not going to get blindsided by seeing Milwaukee. They're a young team. I've seen what they've done against good teams in this league and what they're capable of doing.
thing that maybe sets him apart a little bit from the other superstars, I guess, is he does have one kind of flaw in his game, and he's not a great shooter yet. How do you exploit that defensively?
Well, again, I'm not going to give you our whole game plan, Michael, but again, you got to respect his jump shot, enough because he's efficient mid-range, not a three-point shooter, no. But he knows now he's learned how to take up the space to get where his sweet spot is. He takes up that slack, and we've got to do some things to make sure we don't let him take up that slack and get to that sweet spot or send another body to him. So there's a couple of things you can do, but you can't go in and saying he can't shoot, because my history with players like that is you get soft mentally. You get soft and thinking, okay, I don't have to take up slack, and then all at once he's got a head of steam coming at you. So there's a lot of, he's learned how to play that game too.
So one more.
Okay.
They're different now with Middlebrook. I mean, that sort of seemed to have sparked their turnaround. What's he
much better shooting? He's added another. Middleton's added another shooter to that group, and he stretches the floor out. You got to make sure you guard. And by him being a shooter, he's created more space for Antetokounmpo. So that's something that you got to be respectful for, because he's the X factor. I mean, he stretches the floor out in transition, shooting the three. One-on-one, he's an excellent ISO player. So now, do you put your best defender on him, or do you put your best defender on Antetokounmpo? So he gives them another dimension offensively, and is a solid defender. He gets into DeMar and he grabs holes, and he does a lot of the physicality work that they need at that position. Okay. Yes, it does. I believe every game means something, because this game is about habits. And when you go out and feel like, okay, we're going to go through the motions and we're going to turn it on come this weekend, we're kidding ourselves. And that's how you build our culture. Has got to be, we don't take anybody for granted. We don't fear anybody, but we don't take anybody for granted, and we don't feel like we're better than anybody else. Our culture is respect, but you go out and play to your habits. And the way you play to your habits is you do them every night, no matter who. And we haven't done a good job of that. So, we get to the mindset where, all right, we have a team that's below 500 come in. Throw our press clippings out there. This league will kick you in the butt every time you do that. And so, yes, every night, no matter who plays for Cleveland tonight, whoever, we got to come out and develop habits.
Do you think that they don't seem to care about the #1 seed based on what they've kind of done or not done the last week or so?
Yeah, I don't know. And really, I really don't care. I don't know what they're thinking over there. And I'm worried about us, our approach to this week, this month. And we can't fall in the trap of thinking any other way. But hey, we've got a dogfight on our hands, because if we do, we'll get disappointed.